All right, the president wrapping things up with the troops at Fort Campbell, but now we're getting word of a very dangerous rift happening inside the Pakistani government over who knew what and when about Osama bin Laden. On the phone with me now, counterterrorism analyst Mansoor Ijaz. Mansoor, what do you find out?
Well, one of the unintended consequences, Neil, of this whole episode with bin Laden's raid is that the fissure that was hidden for so many decades between the military side of the government in Pakistan and the civilian side has now come out in the open. 2 nights ago, General Kayani and General Pasha, who is the head of the ISI, they presided over a meeting in which they basically put all of the blame of what happened here at the feet of the civilian government. And this afternoon, about 3-4 hours ago, before he got on an airplane and left the country, General Pasha of the ISI called the CIA station chief into his office and dressed him down and really let him have it for 5 or 10 minutes and didn't give the CIA station chief, according to my sources, even an opportunity to respond about getting all of his people out of the country and cleaning up that house in Abbottabad that they were using to spy on bin Laden's compound. So this rift now has come out wide open, and I think it poses a lot of very serious dangers for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, wait a minute, so are you saying then that the anger wasn't so much over bin Laden's compound, but the spying on the compound?
Exactly. You recall about 4 or 5 months ago, there was an issue about a fellow by the name of Richard Davis, who the State Department made a big deal to try and get him back. In the end, we paid $2.3 million in blood money to get him out of Pakistan. He was a CIA operative who killed 2 Pakistanis that were tailing him. They were probably ISI guys as well. The magnitude of rift that took place between the United States and Pakistan over that has now gone up by a magnitude of 100-fold in the context of having a full CIA operation on the ground right there next to a military garrison and the top Pakistani military academy, spying on the #1 terrorist in the world. So you can say that internally in the government now the danger is this, and that is that the civilian side of the government, maybe even at the behest of the Americans, says to the military and the ISI, you guys are responsible. You have to take responsibility, and Zardari, the president of Pakistan, tries to fire the army chief and/or the ISI chief. The rumors are that the ISI chief is going to resign anyway.
Man, oh man.
And I've been told that he left Pakistan a few hours ago. He may be even on his way to Washington with very sensitive data in his hands. But the point here is this, that if the civilian side makes that move, then we have exactly the same conditions that we did when Musharraf was unceremoniously told to get out of the country while he was flying on an airplane at 30,000 feet, and he had to come back and take over. So there's the real possibility that Pakistan could undergo a coup as a result of all of what has happened here in the past 5 days, and that would be a hugely unintended consequence.
Then that means, Mansoor, that when the political leaders, particularly the president, was saying, they knew nothing about this, and why is America pointing fingers? I'm just paraphrasing. There might, in fact, have been something to that, right? That this might have been something only military leaders were aware of.
I think it is the highest probability in this situation is that Zardari knew nothing. He has not known very much since he became the president of Pakistan. He's always been kept in the dark. That Kayani knew everything, and he only entrusted the information to a few very trusted people in the local community right in the garrison town of Abbottabad, so that there would not be anybody else that would know what was going on.
But Mansoor, think of what you're saying, and just to bring this home to folks in this country, that would mean that the political leaders were in the dark, made fools of. They're angry at the military, the intelligence people. The military and intelligence, or particularly the intelligence people, are telling them, we don't give a rat's patoot that you're angry. That's not good. That's a mess.
It's that kind of a mess that if Zardari tries to make a move to remove them from power because he needs somebody's head to roll, if you will.
And no one's going. And no one's going.
Yeah, and I think the result of that will be they'll tell him, sorry, pal, that's not the way it works in this country. You're gone. And now we have a military coup. You have the military in charge of the country that was responsible for harboring this guy, and who knows how many others. You know, Ayman al-Zawahiri, Sirajuddin Haqqani, Mullah Omar. I mean, they're all there. All of them are sitting there right underneath their noses.
So they would be more,
guts,
those groups would be more protected with a military regime running the country than what appeared to be this cloak of a political one running, right?
Exactly my point. And that's why I think if this army is serious about correcting the mistakes that they've made, Kayani ought to man up and stand down everybody in the army and the intelligence services and tell them, you got 1 week to hand all these bad guys over to the U.S. Special Forces in Bagram Air Base, and let's be done with this problem. I don't think they're going to do it, but that's what I would do if I were Kayani in this kind of a situation.
Man, oh man. All right, that's our Ijaz. He has among the best contacts in the region, certainly that I know of, and he has uncannily and presciently covered every twist and turn. Mansour, thank you very, very much.